Hello, people. I thought I would come on really quick this evening and just share a brief encounter with an artist who has been in the business since before I was even born, that has more recordings than anyone I know, has pedigree in the business. And I'm not dropping any names because I just don't do that. But the reason why I'm on here, I want to talk about that keyword of humility. Humility from someone who's been a veteran around for years, that can have a conversation and talk and communicate and not put themselves on this pedestal up here. I don't know about you, but I find that there are people who don't even have half, not even a quarter's worth, not even 10 cents worth of the outstanding abilities that this individual has in comparison, but want to act like they're all of that. And I find it to be downright disrespectful. I find it to be off-putting, as it were, when you come across individuals like that, because it communicates a certain way. It says something about you as a person where there's just that lack of humbleness, that lack of appreciation for the work somebody has put in for years, and people thinking, oh, I want to be where that person is instantly. And I talk about that a lot sometimes with music students in terms of you have to start somewhere, you have to grow, but you also have to do it at a pace that is comfortable for you as well as helps you to grow. So for you newbies out here trying to get on, trying to do your thing, the best game you can bring to the game is the humility game, and not a pompous fake way of showing humility. Like that's what you know the person's looking for. Trust and believe, we can smell it a mile away. When I say we who are receiving that person, we can discern the lack thereof of humility. And because of it, it's just a quick turn off. And I say this because I have no one in mind that I'm talking about right now. But I promise you, I will come across someone in one way, shape, or form that will manifest that lack of humility, that feels like they feel like they should have certain things, or I should be allowed to do this, and oh, I'm great, I this, I that. It's really hard. That's a really hard position to be in when you now have to bring them down or tell them exactly what the real deal is. And it's just better for people to just be in a place of learning. And I'm using that example and saying that not everybody's the same, but the understanding should be the same. That it's going to take you time to get to certain places. Think of it like someone in the workplace. They've been there for so many years. They train people. They are the person that gets you from point A to B, and you being the person to now say, I don't need your help. I know what I'm doing. I got this. How successful do you think that person is going to be? They could be successful in some vein, but they could be missing a whole lot of information that could help them avoid mistakes. So I say that in terms of an individual being of a growth mindset and wanting to grow along the way, not thinking that they know everything. If you think you know everything, you're never going to grow, because there's things that I'm still learning. I consider myself a lifelong student when it comes to music and listening to people show me different approaches and different ways of doing things. Imagine if I had this closed, mindedness, or I don't want to hear what you have to say, if I had that attitude, where would I be? I really wouldn't get far. Or I'd stay where I am. And if you're okay staying where you are, then stay where you are. But you can't come off like you think the world owes you something. The world owes you nothing. Every time you take the stage, you must grind. Every time you want to reach out for something, you have to ask yourself, is that for me? You have to ask yourself, are there pitfalls? Are there things that I could be learning to avoid these things? And somebody's come before me to tell me, no, you don't want to do that because this is what's going to happen, or this could be the situation. Your experiences are going to be your experiences, but if somebody can ward off calamity, wouldn't you want to listen? So I say that to say, any type of student, when it comes to music, please, please, please make sure you are doing more listening than you are speaking, because take in the instruction of the instructor. The instructor is going to want you to be better. They're going to want you to overcome any hurdles, and they certainly are going to want to keep watering your instrument so that you can continue to grow. Nothing that I've accomplished, I got handed to me. I had to grind all the way from age 9. 50 years. 50 years of grinding, 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 grinding. So listen to me when I say you have got to have humility, and you've got to listen, and you've got to create goals for yourself that are attainable. And when I say create goals for yourself, you and the instructor communicate with each other and craft out these goals that you really want to obtain, and then seek to do that. Now, be careful of listening to people who tell you that you sound wonderful, you sound great, and they are not a singer. Don't get me wrong. There are people who do not sing that can give you advice, and that is fantastic. I'm talking about the people who are telling you you sound good and you don't. You have to be willing to hear the God's honest truth. And if you don't want to hear the truth, then you are not doing this for the right reasons. You are doing this because you want to become something out of this world, and you will be out of this world. Anybody want to hear you? You have to be someone who is willing to listen, take cues, and be honest with yourself. I know a particular student that I say all the time, we have these dreams of grandeur, but we don't want to put in the work. Well, keep dreaming, because that's all it will ever be, as a dream. And as a teacher, I'm nice. I'm real nice. People can tell you, if you've ever taken a lesson with me, I am the sweetest person as I'm instructing, but I'm going to give you the truth. Why? Because it's reflective of me as a teacher. It's also reflective of the work that you turn out, that we want to be excellent. You don't want to step out there and you are not, as Devils Wear Prada movie, you are not ready. You must be ready before you go out there. So please, please, please listen, take an instruction, and it's okay to dream, but don't dream too far where you're asking for something that is unattainable at the moment. Let me give you an idea of what that looks like. You're starting to sing. I want to hit Mariah Carey notes. I want to hit Ariana Grande notes, or whoever these singers are that you feel is out of the stratosphere notes, the gentleman with the falsettos, and I want to sound like Usher and this and that. And you have to come with who you are at the table. And then we can see, okay, where do we go? How do I build you up to get you to that point? I am singing songs that I could not sing before. I can sing the Mariah and the Tina Marie's and the Jennifer Hudson's and all of that. I can do that stuff now, whereas before, years ago, I could not. I couldn't. I had not grown yet. And so when you try to do something beyond a point of growth, you could end up hurting yourself. I am so glad the way I went through learning music and listening to my instructors, because they protected my vocal instrument. And that's why I've been singing for so long without getting nodules and things, throat problems. So listen to people, someone who's been out there for so long, who's been doing it, and they know their stuff. And to talk to that individual today, I mean, we were on a call for maybe about 2 hours, no kidding. And all of the information that I was enlightened with and shown, I was amazed. But they also were amazed that I knew the terms and that I knew what I was talking about. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's an interchange, but I never thought I was on the same level as that person. Get it? That person's been in the business way longer than I have, or they've been exposed to music way longer than I have. So I'm here to learn. I'm here to listen. I'm also here to share what I know, right? But not to a point to make that person feel as if I think I know more than they did. And even if I did know something more than that person did, I would never come off that way. Humility is a serious thing. And I keep praying that I cultivate it every single time that I get an opportunity, because it truly is the thing that you need in order to grow. Words of wisdom, take that, put that in your pipe, you know what to do with it. Seriously, you've got to be humble in order to move continually in the right direction.